crazy. Slots right into, I think, the Vengevine build of Hollow One that we've been playing. I'm playing Flage in the flex spots here. Could be removal spells, could be other Flamebladed adapts, could do some slightly different builds, could play less Fear of Missing Outs, but I think Fear of Missing Out is a bit too good with the Vengevine plan where you can like loot away a Vengevine turn 1 and then turn 2 go FOMO root wall, like bring back Vengevine. But I think I'm very excited about Marauding Mako in this shell because it's just going to make this archetype much more resilient to graveyard hate. Having access to a one drop that gets so big and beefy here. Hey Gloom, 53 months. Happy patch day. Let's go. M Haneth with the 14. Thank you also. The new monument has a place in this shell. Not in this shell. Hollow One is not an archetype that's interested in dirtily 3-mana card advantage engine. I think Goblin Lore should be Scrapwork Mutt or NT. I couldn't disagree with you more, but thank you for your comment. I think Goblin Lore is much better than both those cards. I've played a lot. I've played more Scrapwork Mutt or NT than like maybe anybody else in the world. Well, especially because like Goblin Lore puts 3 counters on Mako. It's like it's also important to play the card that's better with the new card. Have these Ray of Revelations in the sideboard for Breach, by the way. Any potential with Ketramos plus Cauldron? I don't know. I think you want flicker effects more than activated abilities. Injured the Breach matchup. They could be playing Marauding Mako too. They might be here. You didn't want to be in my opening hand, Marauding Mako. My opponent kept a 1-lander. I guess let's go FOMO into next turn, Mako Goblin Lore. Did you also brew an Abzan build for Ketramos? The green card's all bad. I was working on an Abzan build. It's not done yet. This one is like Free Strider Lookout, plus like Nissa for Solitude, and maybe Titania, and Free Strider Lookout. Like when you play a Lookout, you kind of have to like, you can't just get lands that are normal lands. It's really important to get utility lands. So this is like Emeria, Cabal Coffers, Field of Ruin effects. And so I think if you're playing Ketramos, it makes sense to kind of be on like an Emeria build where Free Strider Lookout gets you enough lands in play for Emeria to be online, and it also allows you to sorry, walking and talking here. Also like put some area into play. Okay, so that Nethergoyf, FOMO, Mountain, Unholy Heat. They choose the Nethergoyf, which they can't quite cast this turn. Nice to draw Flage. I guess I'm going to grab a Sacred Foundry here. Alright, and then let's talk about NT versus Goblin Lore. Scrapwork Mutt versus Goblin Lore. Okay, did not discard a Flage, but besides that, this went pretty dang well. One mana 4/4 and counting. Am I going to be dead to this Nethergoyf though? Probably not this turn, but we'll see. Both Flages in our hand here. Yeah, Mako seems immediately sick. Can't wait for Mako to lead to Hollow One, list Hollow One since it's just outclassed. Well, I feel like you gotta play Hollow One too. We'll see. Too bad Solitude's on the rise. Yeah, maybe. Hard to have Solitude and Ephemerate early. I guess I'm dying to my Omnivore's Flytrap creation here. Mako, Bowmaster, Burning Inquiry. I think that the Bowmaster, Burning Inquiry stuff is like very overrated, but you can play Bowmaster in the flex spot if you want. Yeah, so here they get to bestow the Tectus Phoenix onto the Omnivorous Flytrap. this reduces them off of 6 types down to 4. So if they attack with this, and up to 5 again when they graveyard this, but they get to put 2 more counters. So this is 7 plus 4 plus 2, which is 13, and I'm at 11. So we're going to game 2 here. All right, I'm going to be mulliganing pretty aggressively for Leyline of the Void. I built their deck, and very weak to that, this one. They're also going to be having their own graveyard hate, and in general, I think it's kind of nice to try to maneuver around that. Don't think I want to cut the Flages, though. I think I'm going to cut the FOMOs for Leylines here. Let's try this. Or maybe it could be the Phoenixes instead. Although the Phoenix is so good in this matchup, the flying is so nice. Yeah, let's do this. What was that green creature? That was Omnivorous Flytrap. They're playing an old brew of ours. Pretty fun. Pretty cool card. Need Mako Flytrap now. Yeah, they might be playing Mako. How long does it usually take Mana Traders to get new cards? I think it's like 3 days, probably. Flameblade Adept just gone. Would a build with 4 Mako for Adept be suboptimal? I think it would probably be suboptimal. But there's definitely like the advantages of being like better against Graveyard Hate. So like one thing is I kind of feel like this deck has like 2-ish flex spots, which are like the Flages are occupying at the moment, and I would rather play like Flage or like removal spells in this spot. Is Vengevine the cut if we suspect Graveyard Hate? Maybe. Vengevine is just so fast and explosive. I think I want to keep them on the play. And you can also just cast this for 4 mana sometimes. Yeah, Rave Revelations are sideboard reach deck plus the ley lines. Let's keep. Man, Magic's easy. Is Monument 2 overcosted in this type of build? Yeah, this is not an archetype where you are interested in a 3 mana card advantage engine. Pick your poison. Forgot my second leyline at home. Second Mako will have to do. Yeah, you did call it Shaka. Thank you. Thank you. All right, you're at 11. I'm going to put 3 more counter or 6 more counters on my creatures next turn. There's like a 1 mana Sprite Dragon. Like so much better than Sprite Dragon, yeah. You know, Mako's so nice. I wonder if you could play the blue card too. The 2 mana Mako that has flying. 2 mana is so much, but if Mako just ends up being this good all the time. Okay, so if my opponent casts Orcish Bowmaster, they do get their triggers before I do. I guess I just get basic Mountain, and then if they flash in Bowmaster, block, ping, double block, the Bowmaster's dead, I can lure post-combat. Just attack first, yeah. Oh. Not the right time to surveil there. Not the right time. Okay, didn't discard anything for value, but I've got a 7/7 and a 6/6. Your turn. Are they Stomping Grounds just Darkest Vengevine? We also have Rave Revelation in the sideboard. This would be indie choice number 1 for me. Well, maybe let us finish the league first, but I agree. It's looking pretty promising. Up your alley, too. Ketchamos was really good. We're definitely going to play more Ketchamos. How big can we make these Marauding Makos? Got a Vengevine in the yard, too. It is kind of best to haste a Rootwalla here. Yeah, I would love to faithlessly loot and make my Mako 12-12 and 11-11, but having another hasty attacker, just a hasty lethal attacker rather, seems better. When your opponent is at 3, there's not a huge difference between a 3-1 and a 12-12. Alright, Marauding Mako, better than Nethergoyf. Confirmed. Okay, I think on the draw I want the heats. I'll cut the wraiths. Try this. Phoenixes are also kind of worse on the draw. Maybe I do this. It's also like maintains kind of the same number of Let's try some different plans. Does discarding something in Triggering Madness count as discard? It does, yeah. Love getting to draw Mako too. It's always so sad when you like queue up a deck like this. You don't draw the card that you're testing. Okay, on the draw here. I don't have a ley line. I do have lands and spells. I think I just have to like find a ley line here. Let's make a Marauding Mako exception since we are testing the card here. I think I'm gonna keep. I want to go Mako into lore, so we'll put 1 back. Going for Sacred Foundry for Flage instead of green for this Vengevine, I think. Graveyard's another Nethergoyf. My mad doesn't usually say Inspiring Spike. It's usually a Inspiring Spike, but this is my Daybreak account. My alter ego is Inspiring Tim. Does Asmo not deserve any consideration for these decks anymore? Honestly, no. Asmo's not good in Hollow 1, but and you can build decks around Asmo and still think about it here. Boo! Opponent hates fun. Okay, well, if only this Vengevine was in the yard and this Hollow one was in our hand, although I guess that's kind of greedy. If we draw a land next, we can maybe go Haste, FOMO, discard Vengevine, cast Mako. Bring back 2 Vengevines. Alright, so on turn 3 they find a Rumble, which is probably going to grab them Arena of Glory or Blood Crypt instead of Bauble or Detective's Phoenix. They do choose the Arena of Glory. So holding up an Unholy Heat for an Omnivorous Flytrap seems like it could be a priority, especially if I don't draw my land here. Did not draw a land, so yeah, let's just go ahead and play a Mako, hold up the Heat for the Flytrap. We lost playing for the trophy, despite having 2 pieces of sideboard action for their Breach combo. My opponent had double Flage into Breach combo, and we lost playing for the trophy. You'd want to cast Mako first, though. No, you'd cast FOMO out, so you get the second Vengevine is worth more than the single counter on the Mako. They didn't play Arena. No, they missed their second land, so that was their They missed their second land, so they couldn't play the Arena that turn. They choose Verdant Catacombs. Pretty scary, because they almost definitely have a Flytrap. I think I need to heat this Channeler for mana efficiency's sake. Haste the FOMO. Get in there. Got a lot of good top decks. Got a lot of good top decks. Got to use our mana, I think. Alright, so drawing another 1 mana creature for the win. Not another 1 mana creature, but if we find a Root Wallet or a Hollow one, we win. It's going to get Basic Mountain to take the least amount of damage on the backswing. Okay. So we don't get to bring back our 3 Vengevines. Nice to do some chumping, though. I kind of think we're just going to get one shot by Flytrap. I kind of can't remember how much damage it is. It's, what, 6 plus... It comes down with 6 counters. And then 2 more counters. Or 4 counters, it's 16. Okay. That sounds right. You would think I would know. This is, our deck. I'm in the Barter Catcher League. We went 0-2. We lost to Titan and we lost to Boros. I feel like the Esper build looked better, so I wanted to pivot to something else. Decided to do this instead of another League of Ketchumos. If we had held the Mako in our hand for a turn, we would have been able to bring back 3 Vengevines here. No, not. I guess it would have actually only been 2. Hold back blocker then. The problem is they have Detective's Phoenix, so like holding back a blocker doesn't even do it. Should have mulliganed the ley line. If Wizards doesn't ban Breach in March, it's just negligence at that point. Maybe. Certainly doesn't feel like Breach is more problematic than like the Ring or Nadu. They might ban it. It's definitely not the most fun deck. Exact seized one shot. Did any Bright Gust blues coming up? Yeah, we'll play Bright Gust Gear Hulk for sure. Good chance that my like Abzan Catchable deck needs to be playing that card. Get Relic of Progenitus off of it. Well, Mako looked good, even though we died there. Urza Saga is another target to look at if Titan keeps doing well. I mean, Titan will continue to do well. It's like Titan will just kind of continue to always be a great choice for any big modern tournament. Banning Saga would help with that, but it would also make it less weak to Disenchants, which is like kind of one of the best ways to incidentally attack the deck instead of like dedicating mood effects. Would I cut anything in this deck for Bowmasters? No, I know like every Hollow One player is so freaking horny to like Bowmaster, Burning Inquiry, but I don't think it's optimal to play the card anymore. I'm a big Vengevine proponent, especially with the new Mako build. Esper Satoro with Ketchumos. Yeah, I thought about playing Satoro in the Esper build. I think I would want to play Aether Vial, which is something we could do. Marauding Mako, you're going to live. Let's go. Breach is the kind of card that should be banned for long-term health of the format. Yeah, I'm not out here defending Underworld Breach. I am saying I am having a pretty good time in the modern format, and I feel like we got, you know, a month before any bans happen. Ooh, no, I'm gonna die. And it's just not something I want to really be thinking about, bans, especially when we've got new cards to test. Okay, so unfortunately only one Root Walla. And I discarded my Burning Inquiry, but next turn I can go FOMO. I can go FOMO, discard Vengevine, cast Root Walla, bring back 2 Vengevines, or I can go FOMO, discard Root Walla. I guess I can't also escape Detective's Phoenix, but the discard Vengevine, cast Root Walla line looks to be pretty lethal. However, my opponent does have a Ruby Medallion in play. Yeah, Esper Ketchumos went well. We lost a close one playing for a trophy against 4-color Breach. I am pretty interested in playing another league with that deck tomorrow with some small updates and then moving into some other brews. I thought in this more aggro build, you would put Flameblade Adept in the deck. Let me know what you think you could cut for Flameblade Adept. I'm interested to hear. To me, it seems like there's no card in this deck that is weaker than Flameblade Adept, so I'm doing it. Alright, probably dead. Back on Strike It, Rich, huh? Interesting they chose to pass in Flames before casting Glimpse. I feel like they could have cast the Glimpse first. Might be a hot take, but if the Breach deck is too strong right now and they're considering banning Breach, why not ban something like Grinding Station? Either way, the deck would be done, but Breach would still see play in fringe decks like Prowess. Well, in general, I think you should ban the more broken card than like the weird enabler, like ban Nadu instead of Shuko. That's just the philosophy I have, I suppose. But also there's like you can play Enhanced Surveillance to combo with Underworld Breach. Like it's not that it just kills the archetype even. You can do Enhanced Surveillance plus DRC. Okay, down a game. Let's bring in the Leyline of the Voids. Let's go down Double Flage. I feel like we can go down to Detective's Phoenix. It's not actually like it's getting through blockers is pretty real, which is not. Also, what's funny about that is like I actually have another deck that plays Grinding Station. I play my Semblance Anvil combo deck, and I would be sad if like Grinding Station got banned and I couldn't play that deck again. I don't know, it's just kind of a silly point to make, but I'd be sad. Is it Mox Opal the problem? Can't we expect it was a mistake? Okay, so one, I'm not supporting a Breach ban yet. Two, it's Breach that's the problem in my opinion. I don't. Breach was one of the best decks in the last format, and I think people have always been kind of reluctant to play it because it's pretty boring and repetitive. But it was one of the best decks even when Ring was legal. It did play the Ring at the time, but it had an incredibly high win rate. And now people were really looking for a Mox Opal deck to play. Breach is the best Mox Opal deck. People are actually playing it now. But yeah, I don't know. I think the problem is Breach. If they ban Mox Opal, Breach with Mox Amber is still a very competitive and powerful deck. It is not. Mox Opal is a big upgrade to it, of course, but I would say that I've been liking Mox Opal in general. I guess I put both ley lines into play because I have enough to discard for value. And I think turn one, because if I draw another 1-drop plus a land, I can just hold the Root Wall on. Opal, def the problem. Even if not now, it will be again. It just really shouldn't be unbanned. Do you want to back up that argument with more of a argument instead of just saying it is? Because I've been playing a lot of Mox Opal decks, and Mox Opal has not really felt like a super broken card in any of the Affinity Shells I've played. It's been a nice tool. We've had some success in any of the other combo decks we played. It's just been kind of nice to have. It's weak to a lot of sideboard cards. I have not felt that it's the Opal is the big problem, but if you want to elaborate, I would love to hear you out sincerely. Opal enables a lot of artifacts which don't just exist without it. Yeah, maybe. In fact, I think it's really telling that the only Opal deck that's really seeing play is the Breach deck. Streaming this far to PM has Hell frozen over. Well, there's a new set release, so you always stream the site on new set release days. Okay, so I can go FOMO into Root Walla, but I no longer have any Vengevines in my deck. How long do I think I'll go today? I don't know. I think Esther left or into her lesson. Might be kind of late today. I don't like to go too late because then my whole schedule's all messed up. But yeah, I could never get a Root Walla out of the hand. Opal's fine until KCI 2.0 starts up with this new Lotus. We'll see. This new Lotus is much worse than KCI. It's 2 more mana, and it's a you to loop the uses, you have to play kind of a bunch of crappy cards. But we'll see. I'm gonna try to break that card too for sure. I mean, when playing RCQs before the Ring Opal change, it felt like another solid competitive deck. Now it seems like it seems to be a problem right after the unban. Maybe it's not the Opal alone, but the meta ship overall. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think so that the way the metagame has evolved, where I think Breach is good against Dimir, it's good against Boros, it's good against Eldrazi, and it's bad against Black-White. That seems to be my general impression here. Maybe bad isn't the right word against Black-White, but it isn't I'd say of all the decks in the format, that are popular, Black-White's pretty good against it. I have actually been having a really fun time with Breach being a top deck. I haven't heard anybody be like, yeah, I agree, Spike, yet, which is fine. But I kind of like having Breach be so popular. I think it's fun to have this sideboard plan of protect your sideboard card, blow up all their artifacts, play Karn decks against them. It's been a fun deck for me to attack. I have enjoyed having it be legal. and be really popular. A lot of people seem to not be having this experience, but I'm having a good time against it. So my opponent's Ritual Wishing here into a Grape Shot. It's a fun game against Storm here. I wouldn't mind Breach if the Moxon didn't make it feel too fast. I mean, that's fine feedback. I enjoy playing against it. Not everyone is going to have that opinion. I think I'll discard the Inquiry so that we could escape a Flage possibly. But I don't know. I'm having a really good time, and I don't want to talk about bans all day. You can have your band opinions, of course. I encourage you to do so. But I've got new cards to play test. Let's focus on that. So I have no more Phoenixes, and I have no more Detectives Phoenixes. Although I did board some out. Yeah, Doomwig's chat may still be the complaint for him. All right, going to game 3. With Breach being 16 in top 30 RC, could we expect to see people start to play even more main deck hate for it and falling RCs? Seems like a good spot to be. Yeah, maybe. Like, this is something I've enjoyed post ban shakeup. We've had like real meaningful metagame evolution, and it does seem like Breach has been the top deck for like a month, and the RCs didn't seem like they were able to keep it contained. Breach might continue to be a really dominant deck. I find Breach to be a really refreshing top deck where I feel like I can have a solid Breach matchup if I dedicate a lot. If I'm like main decking Spell Snare, main decking Karn, sideboarding Grafdigger's Cage, sideboarding Force of Vigor, sideboarding Stony Silence. Like there's a lot of cards that are really good against this deck. If you compare this to like the last 2 big metagames we had, so the draw against Storm. I think if this was an untapped land, I would keep. It's tapped. We're gonna mulligan. Okay, nice. When you compare this to like the last couple of metagames we've had, where we had like it was Nadu into Energy, like you just could not have good matchups against these decks. If like there were some like very specific strategies you could be favored against them. But you couldn't like brew a lot of decks that were good against it. And so for me, as someone who likes to build a lot of decks, I really enjoy Breach being so popular because, I can exploit it. Breach is a deck that at the top of the metagame that I feel is somewhat exploitable compared to Nadu and Energy. And so it's certainly, Modern is not in a perfect place. It isn't perfectly ideal. It has never been Modern has also never been in a perfect place. And oh, we exiled a Grape Shot. Interesting. Okay. And then they hit a Ral off their Rin's Resolve. But I'm having a good time. That's all I'm trying to say. Mama, I'm just having fun. Can I send you a deck list to look at? No, sorry. Don't do that anymore. It just took way too much time. Thank you for asking. Leyline Catchermost deck. Yeah, I want to play a Leyline Binding. Like, Leyline Binding is a card that is, like, just nowhere to be seen. Do you think this deck could work with a few copies of Fairy Macabre, either main deck or sideboard? It seemed to work well with Mako and Combat Breach as a whole. So I think that this is also an issue that with Breach, it seems, that players are like, they think like Fairy Macabre sucks against Breach. I think like a lot of times they play 2 win conditions. It's not that tough for them to play around. Not that tough for them to get like to maneuver around these kind of cards. Endurance, Nile Spellbomb. Endurance particularly bad because of the shuffle. Like you will get them sometimes with Fairy Macabre, I guess, but these are not. If you remember, like the list of cards I've been excited to play, it's like Spell Snare, Force of Vigor, Karn the Great Creator. Like single use Graveyard Hate is not is not very high on my list of ways to attack the Breach deck, which I do think is a problem with like how popular it is in the metagame. I think people do think like this single use Graveyard Hate is really good against them. Leyline's good against them. Rest in Peace is good against them. How was Ketchum's final score in the league? We lost playing for a trophy in the first league, and then we 0-2'd with Mardu. Mardu seemed worse than Esper, for what it's worth. Okay, 2 cards still in their hand here. This may come down to Ralph flips. Oh, maybe not. Four-color Omnath pile with Ketchumos and Binding. Wow, crazy. All right, graveyarding this. Good chance I'm going to be bestowing by exiling Vengevine here. Let's do it. Regardless, they would probably make some changes next BNR. I agree, yeah. At the very least, it seems like you could unban some stuff too still. And I do think that Breach is not a very fun deck for most people. I really do want to acknowledge that. Just because I really like playing against Breach, I do want to acknowledge that. It doesn't seem to be very popular. Okay, so they decide to flip Rao. My question boiled down to, do you think proactive hate versus reactive hate is better? When a permanent's in play, it seems easier to play around, but sometimes reactive, the gotcha factor is worth considering. So I think reactive disenchants or counterspells like Spell Snare and Force of Vigor are really, really good against Breach. I think reactive Graveyard Hate is not good against it. So discard this for Delirium. And then I think I'm just going to attack them. Thoughts on Uro unban? I think Uro would be a big mistake to unban. I think it would immediately be the best card advantage engine in the format, although maybe Ketchumos would take that spot. With Malevolent Rumble consigned to Memory, Shifting Woodland, Fanatic of Ronus, it would be, I think, a really, really ridiculous card and would be one I would probably never unban too, because that card is just kind of miserable. Please don't unfollow. Spike is Death Rage Shaman safe to unban. Okay, guys, I'm announcing here tonight, February 11th, 2025. You could probably unban Death Rage Shaman. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, but you could probably do it. It'd probably be fine. Okay, they glimpsed into Reckless Impulse Grape Shot, into Surgical. I think it'd probably be fine. Oh, Dingo's here. Oh, no. Shaman would be pretty good with Ketchumos, probably. Yeah, but everything's good with Ketchumos. Surgical my looting. Blakey, 41 months. Blakey, welcome back. Yeah, 72-hour stream with Death Ray Shamans unbanned. Just not committing to that. That's the joke. Prince Sorcery Speed Outburst. You've got Ardent Plea and Agent. Can you be banned? You minded me buy some Ketchumos, by the way. It won't get banned, right? We'll see. I think a big reason people are upset about Breach is it got boosted to top dog via surprise unban on an expensive card. Instantly caused talks about reban, Grave, Troll 2.0, etc. A lot of bad vibes on top of gameplay. Yeah, I think that's fair feedback. And I, as someone who has been playing Modern this whole fucking time, this format is so much better than it was. We had 6 months of pain, and I'm just happy we have got like a playable and interesting Modern format. So like, it could just also, with this whole Breach stuff, it could just be my standards for a playable Modern format are very low. It absolutely could be the case that I'm like, wow, I could build decks, I could play Magic, I could have fun, and I'm just so happy after 6 months of just misery. How is Ketchumos? Ketchumos very good so far. I'm interested in playing some more with it. We'll see how long this league takes, but I would be interested in firing up another Esper League after this. Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if you heard that. Ah!
Well, I kicked a piece of mud on the floor and I thought it was a cockroach.
Good news, we discarded a Flage. Bad news, we discarded Arena. Oh my gosh, I forgot to click the hollow one. So I'm going to take some blame real quick. Just say that you were just too distracting.
I was so distracted.
You were, you screamed.
You know,
Take the blame! Please!
you know, I really wanted to take this story and have it all about me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we're going to be playing a Mako mirror here. Oh! They let you play 1 mana 5/6s. Okay, let's have a good goblin lore here. Alright, hard to feel too bad about Rootwalla going onto the stack, Hollow One going on to play this time. Honestly, didn't really get punished because it's not like I could have attacked with the Hollow One this turn. Thoughts about a more controlling build of Murktide. Of Ketramos with Murktide and Wrath the Skies and white exile based removal. I mean, it doesn't sound like Murktide is a card that fits into that strategy at all, but I do think a more controlling Ketramos build could be good. In fact, that actually does seem like kind of prudent to try at this point after how well it performed earlier today. Just a really controlling build. How worse is this deck without Flage with Kroxa budget reasons? Not that much worse. Problem is Counterspell sucks in this meta. Yeah, that's true. Murktide does draw a card with Ketramos. I don't know. It doesn't sound that exciting to me, but yeah, Verdict in Ketramos, that's pretty. Murktide turns on Ketramos, doesn't die to Wrath, meaning you can have a creature and a sweeper. I guess so. I just don't like Murktide that much, and like in a Wrath the Sky Supreme Verdict shell, I don't know if it even like really fits so much, but I don't know. You could try it. I'm not trying to be too much of a wet blanket. I still believe the cleanest slot for Ketramos is into Gora. You have Frog, Emperor, Solitude, Ephemerate, solid plan B on top of those other cards that draws you into the combo. Yeah, I think you can play it in Gorios. You can also Gorios Ketramos sometimes. I don't know. It's like the Ketramos goes in Control. It goes in the Flicker deck. It goes in Esper Oculus. It goes in Gorios. Like, this card's a modern staple. Yes. Okay, so let's try this plan again. So can you play a Beans list replacing Beans with Ketramos and be good stuff? Well, Ketramos isn't so broken that it costs 2. You can Bloodbraid into it. It's a lot of colors. Probably not going to be a good way to build the deck. It is kind of funny for you to say this about Gorios too. It's like Gorios just moves further and further away from Gorios with every card that gets released. Like Frog, Emperor, Force of Negation, Solitude, Ephemerate. When are we going to Gorios? Finally, Layla's time to shine with Ketramos. Ugh. Playtesting Control last night. Pending, Binding, Solitude. Ketramos shines with recurring blink effects like Felia. See meh with one of XL effects. Okay, good feedback. So I'm going to hold up Heat on turn 1. And this like reverses Gorios. Reverses Rakdos Hollow One here. This is actually we played against Jund Delirium aggro. And then Rakdos Hollow One. Very funny matchup spread here. And Storm also. Okay, Multi 5 here. Is Storm underrated right now? I don't know. Like listen, we just beat Storm with like a Leyline of the Void twice. I don't know. Like Storm seems like they just can't combo anymore. I even like maybe scooped turn 1 or game 1 too quickly, but I don't know what happened. 1 week at the MH3. We're playing Storm. We literally can't lose with the deck. It's just all like turn 2, turn 3 wins. It's just going so bananas. I guess we bring in Ray of Revelation for game 3, maybe. Kills FOMO and Phoenix too. And like the last like 2 months I play against it and they just can't combo. Is this DRC skill diff? Probably not. I just don't get it. I've been playing Goras like that since the Toro, so I've been off Falahi for ages. Things like Tommy and Jace, if it works, it works. Yeah, it's definitely like a play style thing when it comes to Gorios. There's something I learned when we were working on Gorgias for like PT Barcelona is that everyone plays with Gorgias really differently. I think the old Blue Ray Gift Storms is better. I mean, this is a funny thing to say.
I keep passing by the flower bulb boxes. Your dad. And I keep thinking they're Girl Scout cookies.
You could try eating them.
It's dirt.
I think DRC is definitely a big difference. I think so too, but you lost Gigantha. But like, I don't know. Like the Fizzle rate just seems so high. It discards Inti and another Leyline, and then they're trying to cast a Hollow One. Can't cast a Hollow One. Passes the turn. So we go Haste. Mako. What is the best Girl Scout cookie? Why is it the minute? I mean, there's no why. It just is undeniably the best. Esther allows me 1 box of Thin Mints a year. I shouldn't even have that. I just eat it all in one night every time. If I had 2 boxes, I would eat both boxes in one night.
How do we feel?
I think it looks really bad.
I hate it.
It looks weird. I'm like all shiny. I look like what's the villain in Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Adam Warlock. Here, let me show you.
You act like I watch sequels, threequels.
I didn't see this one either, but see a similarity with this light.
In the I don't know, sweetie.
Hopefully there's no erotic Adam Warlock pictures here. I probably should move here. So I guess play 2 Ray Revelations for their ley lines. Got these. How old do you think Ketchumos will slot into Esper Frog? I don't love right now that like it only works with Frog and Oculus. So I feel like you want to play Cling to Dust. Seems like one of the better enablers there, but it could slot in pretty well. Something I want to try. So we don't have a ley line this time. I'm gonna mulligan. Yeah, it's mulligan. Probably can't afford to mulligan this one, so let's get ley lined on a 7-card hand. Boo. Esper Frog did a lot worse than Dimir in Portland. I don't think Esper Frog is a thing. That's interesting feedback. It's definitely a deck people play and people really like, but I agree it doesn't seem that good. What would you cut from Black White Blink for Ketchumos? And is there anything else you'd slot alongside him? So we played Esper Ketchumos today, which I guess is my answer to that question. I ended up, splashing blue for Spell Snare, Psychic Frog, and Consign in the sideboard. And Consign in the sideboard. Sorry, I can't.
Sorry.
9 o'clock. I know. What time is your lesson? Yeah, I think the blue splash felt pretty good. You could play a more normal black-white version, but we basically played that same archetype today. Esper Frog has been Dimir with pest control. Yeah, people love the pest controls. Like I have considered Soul Herder. I'm not on board. I think, especially because it's another 3-drop. I don't think stock black-white sewer works that well with Ketchumos. I think you'd want on-demand card draw like Frog or Cling, so maybe a list with Relics. Yeah, I think Relics would be something I would want to try in that kind of shell, but I don't know. To me, it seems like I think I agree with this. I'm not sure. Ooh, okay. Get ready for a Ray of Revelation. To me, it seems like just with Felia and Stupid Emperor of Bones, Flicker Wisp, Boggart Trawler, Ephemerate, Solitude. You do have a lot that works with it, so I don't think you need to play the Relics, but I think starting with the Relics was fine. Yeah, I'm not a believer in the Dark Blast plan, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe we should try the stupid Dark Blast. Ray of Revelation. Could we have hasted a one-man Holland? We could have, yeah. I thought it was good to like Ray of Revelation so we can like looting with the graveyard here. Like this. Cast the hollow one, cast the hollow one. Don't forget, cast the hollow one. My opinion on Dark Blast plan is that you just make a semi-decent sized frog, have an active Catcher Mouse. I don't think it's busted in any sense of the word. Yeah, I mean, so every time we had frog and Catcher Mouse earlier today, it seemed like we just won pretty easy. So there is that. Any plans to revisit a Maria brought back in the future, maybe with Freestar Lookout and Catcher Mouse something? Yeah, I was working on building that this morning. I did not get super duper deep on that. I got like a little stuck on like number of Elishnorns. What interaction are we playing? Is it just Leyline Binding, Solitude? Leyline Binding, Solitude, Prismatic Ending. Do we play Prismatic Ending? Do we play Reprieve? I think Reprieve sucks, so probably not playing Reprieve. Do we main deck White Orchid Phantom? Is there any other card in the whole format that can help us beat Eldrazi besides White Orchid Phantom? So a lot of questions. Not a lot of answers. There's an Inti. 2 cards in their hand here. I have only 1 Unholy Heat. I have 8. I guess I don't have lethal. Could brought back make a return. Yeah, I don't know if you play brought back in that deck. There's like some interesting overlap with Mishra's Bauble, brought back, and Free Strider Lookout. I was thinking about playing Ghost Vacuum in the main deck, which was maybe like too deep a cut. So working on it. You can make a Catcher Mouse Frog combo deck with Creeping Chill, Soul Spike, Dredge cards, but the issue is the rest of the deck is filled with garbage cards. Yeah, we've had this dialogue tree a bunch, and yeah, I agree that that's the issue, is that your deck seems to be quite bad if you build a deck this way. And that's a problem for me, that the deck seems to be quite bad if built this way. So this gives me Delirium on my Unholy Heat. We did play Catcher Mouse. It performed really well in the Esper build. Marty build didn't do as well. I'm interested maybe in playing another Catcher Mouse League today. It might be tomorrow morning depending on how long this goes. I'm getting kind of hungry. Could have been good to like attack with the Root Wallace first, or like 1 Root Walla. Although if my opponent's gonna like chump block like this, hard to feel too upset. Now I want to play around Detective's Phoenix a little bit. Although I guess maybe I could have held up Ray to. Nah, it's just the heat. Yeah, we could maybe mukbang, but I also have like other work I need to do tonight. We'll see. We might get weird with it. Yeah, if I'm reading Catcher Mouse does draw a card. It sees it if you flicker with Felly, it also draws a card. No, your primary stream in Modern. Am I playing any standard for RCQs? I don't really play RCQs anymore. It's just a big chunk of my weekend that I haven't really enjoyed very much, like dedicating time to the RCQ grind. My weekends are just really full. I've got like a lot of, and I would just rather, if I was going to play Magic, I'd rather stream it, is another thing. But my weekends are also really full of other activities, and my tentative goal going to this year was to like play more of the Spotlight series of events, MagicCon stuff. But the problem with that is that I'm getting married this year also, so I can't afford to travel to too many places. I'm probably gonna go to Indy. Or I'm planning on going to Indy. Maybe play Birthing Ritual in the deck. I don't know if they're... Yeah, in Indiana.
When? What month?
It's the weekend after the Bachelorette party.
The weekend after?
Yeah, the weekend after.
So it's like June 1st?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but the other thing on the Emeria deck was I wanted to play Bright Glass Gearhulk in it too. And then Bright Glass Gearhulk can get you relics for Ketramos free starter lookout. Maybe you play like one bauble. You could also play Guide and Pride. Don't know if you want to play Guide Pride. Who's my best man? Let's see if they're in the chat today. Probably not. No, not in the chat today. My friend who taught me to play Magic is my best man. Longtime mod, founder badge. Name's Dalton. But he's actually been on the stream once or twice back in the day. Mulligan? Alright, we're 2-1. Very odd matchup spread. Let me put back this Arid Mesa. Would be interesting splashback in green white deck for Ketramos? Yes, I think it would be, and it's just gonna take some time to figure all this out. Alright, so Faithlessly Loot, discard. Root Walla. Hollow One. Your turn. Absent Birthing Ritual. Is it time for Siege Round to make a comeback? The answer is no, 100%. Yeah, Bright Glass Gearhulk seems to be what Siege Rhino never could be. If you're playing Gearhulk, have you thought about Birthing Ritual? If you play Guide Pride, that way you can turn 1-drops to the Phantoms very effectively. I got that's the point. You're just less your Ritual Splash or Catch Your Mouse playing free strider stuff. Yeah. Exactly. That doesn't seem so bad. A lot to do with this new set. I'm very excited, very happy. A lot going on. Alright. Spin the wheel. There's a Detective's Phoenix in the yard. Let's go ahead and bestow that. You want to put it on the Hollow One instead of the Root Walla so that you can play around K command a bit better. But Spike, Kolagon's command, kills Hollow One. Ha ha ha. So if I haste Root Walla next turn, this is 6 + 6. Which is 12 damage. Seems to be less than the 13 life my opponent's at. My opponent mills 2 Kozilek's returns. The first one, not such a big problem because my Hollow One's a 6/6. The second one, worse. They did just put an Emrakul into their hands. They put an Ugin's Lab here. So if they have another double land, they could turn 3 flashback 2k returns, which would be some bullshit. Okay, so it seems to me that I want to flashback Faithless Looting, digging for a second white source to escape this Flage. We can also discard the Root Walla here. Although if my opponent's card is like World Breaker, they can stop me from being able to escape the Flage. Uh-oh. I just noticed that 2 of my 3 Sacred Foundries are in the yard. It's kind of unlucky. So I guess we discard 2 Root Wallas here. Could shoot token. Could. I guess that does play around another double land into 7-drop. I was thinking that I didn't realize that we had both of our other Sacred Foundries in the yard here. Oh, Emrakul also costs 8, but they can't Ketramos being not killable to K command or K return or to Wrath Disguise is a pretty big deal. Hopefully my opponent isn't like, do I devour the Phoenix or do I World Breaker the land? I like that choice. Good choice. Okay. I'm bringing in the Charmals. I'm cutting 2 Flage, 2 Phoenix, I think. I want Mardu Ketramos with Dreadhorde Arcanist more than life itself, but it seems atrocious. Can't argue with that, so I won't rain on your parade too much. This is not very fun. Alright, turn 1 Lab. Talisman. Mako. What do you think of Eldrazi Ramp with binding instead of K return? I know if you had blue little shorts, but is it nonsense? I don't want to say it's nonsense. I don't think I have a super strong opinion on just blue green with binding, but there's definite upsides. All right, turn 1, Labyrinth Talisman Dismember into turn 2 Karn. That's a good draw. They get a liquid metal coating. As they Can't imagine ever getting another card. I think I just burning Inquiry since looting doesn't let me hollow one if I find hollow one. There's a hollow one. Let's cast it. And then bestow this Detective's Phoenix. Unlucky. Okay. So we can looting this time. And then we're hoping that they play another colorless land and we draw an untapped land for the Charmom. Is the Hellraiser dream dead? My Hellraiser dreams are never dead, but they have certainly not been panning out. In the Esper Catchable deck, did you miss Aether Vial? Seems like it's hard to double, triple spell with it. I didn't really miss Aether Vial, no. How are they kicking this Mako spawn also? Crazy draw. Hollow one in the hand. In the hand. I need you in the hand. Okay, game 3. I do miss Capricious Hellraiser. I really was trying for a while to find a looting deck with it, and I just couldn't figure one out that was worth bringing to the stream. It feels very weird to put back Street Wraith with double Marauding Mako, but it does seem like I just want to be going Mako into Mako, burning Inquiry, hopefully put this hollow one into play. Like I think also back to Aether Vial in the deck we played earlier today. Like I feel like Aether Vial plus Psychic Frog is kind of weird. You like holding it for an extra turn and then vialing it in it doesn't seem like how I want to be playing with that card. Okay, we're gonna be casting Inquiry instead of Mako number 3. Okay, and then the hollow one learned its lesson, and the hand had stayed. So we are attacking for 8 this turn. We're attacking for 12 next turn. In Magic the Gathering, Commander players, listen up. You start with 20 life points, and it seems like we're in pretty good position to to win this one. Guess if they have a K command, they're alive. All right, they're alive. They're making a spawn. Are they going to chump block? They are going to chump block. Okay, okay. Mako seems to be living up to the hype so far. This card's just still so fucking good. What if they just have a second copy of this card? I've been testing Catcher Mouse at my LGS for dual commander. Deck was good at controlling very well. I had trouble closing game suggestions. Play modern, maybe? Sorry about that. Play modern. I don't know. I don't know what the hell dual commander is. Alright, so our opponent, after some deliberation, is casting a Sowing Micro Spawn. They get another copy of Eldrazi Temple. If they have Micro Spawn into K command. Okay, they don't have it, thankfully. So definitely have some lethal draws here. This isn't quite one of them, but can put them to 1 life point. All right, it is lethal. With the looting. For some reason, I forgot about these 2 counters. All right. 1 mana, 8/8. We'll dash at 7 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. Let's get a 4-1 prediction going. Where you want to predict? You have 2 minutes to log in and gamble your 70 channel points. Alright, Mako seems boring. Or, sorry, boring. Broken. Not boring. Exciting. And Catcher Boss has been pretty nuts, too. Been playing a couple Rona and Breach. I think it's super underrated with Tomio and Artifact Shell. Interesting. We won the die roll. We have a Marauding Mako into a Goblin Lore on the play. Clicking submit. Yeah, the fact that this is ignores Graveyard Hate is such a big deal. Can you zoom the cards in while sideboarding? It's a little hard to make out. Yeah, I'll get on it. I don't know. I don't understand how this bug is still here. It's kind of crazy. All right, probably playing against Titan. Could be Breach. Could be a few different decks, of course. I'm gonna lead on my Goblin Lore. So we did not discard the Rootwalla, did not really discard anything super important, but we did put 3 counters on our Marauding Mako with potentially a bunch more next turn. They didn't have a amulet in their hand, so that, you know, without a Mike and Sith Gardens here, it's not super likely they tighten me on turn 3 with this draw. This would be a 6/6, then 8/8. It's kind of weird. I'm actually going to discard a Stomping Ground first. I'm like a little bit worried about triggering Vengevine, although I guess I haven't cast another creature here. I'll discard the Rootwalla here. And then is it better to put the Phoenix on the Mako so they can't block it, or is it better to put the Phoenix on the Rootwalla for 1 extra point of damage? They could block this with a Grazer. If I put the Phoenix here, we're attacking for 11 down to 5, and then the Rootwalla itself is actually lethal next turn because we could just pump it, so this seems to be the answer. I guess, actually, I exile all sorceries, though, for Delirium. Leaving the FOMO in the York because it's 2 types. Marauding Mako is insane. Mako's a long A, so you need to scream there 15 seconds for the subs. Yeah, thank you, Sharps. I won't be doing that. I'll be thinking fondly of Mako as the fun vehicle for Mass Effect 1 instead of Mako, which may be the correct pronunciation. Okay, well, let's see if we live. Probably will, but hard to say. I can also, you know, get an extra combat step with the FOMO next turn. So if they just put like 2 Grazers in the play, we can still win. Tuned in immediately, thought of Hollowvine when I first saw Makos had been testing. Well, pretty good. You can, if you direct your attention to the screen. It's a 1 mana 8/8. I've never seen Titan cast Scapeshift and lose. I've never seen Titan cast Scapeshift and lose. Might be the first time here. I feel like no one plays Scapeshift in Titan, but it just always seems so good when they have it. I'm not really sure where they're going with this, though. They can't have 2 Lotus Fields untapped. I saw this earlier, couldn't figure out what was the point when they had 2 mountains, 1 dry. Yeah, it's mostly like a ritual, but like shifting woodland to the I can never remember the name of the land, that mirror pool that copies your Titans. They're thinking here. Otawara, bounce land, bounce your Mako. Well, they would be dead to my Flameblade Adept if that's all they got. Search my Rootwalla. 100% sure they could have won there. What are they doing? I'm not 100% sure they could have won here. What is your perception for what they could have done? Looks like we win, which I'm happy. So I guess we're playing the FOMO first. Yeah, like with 2 amulets, it's an easy win. With 1, I think it's very unclear that they could have won here. My first time ever seeing Titan cast Escape Shift and lose. Okay, let's go. Up a game against Amulet. Do I bring in the Ray of Revelations? I think I do. So they Summoners Pact the time they cast from hand. Yeah, if they could have Summoners Pacted for Lumra. Although Lumra wouldn't have been deterministic either, right? They would have needed like something else afterwards. We're really crying about Titan with all the breach and energy and the Eldrazi in the format. Goodness, chat's never happy. Yeah, chat is never happy. That's true. Of all these decks, though, I'm like the least happy with Eldrazi. I don't know, like, or with Titan. Sorry, with Titan. Maybe Eldrazi actually. But I don't know, like the Titan's just not very fun to play against because they it's just one of these decks where they have you have to sit and like wait for like 5-10 minutes to see if you're dead, and and lately it doesn't seem like you're dead all that often. So it's not a very fun deck to play against, but I agree, chat's never happy. RC Amulet didn't play Lumra. Interesting. Alright, let's play Mako. Maybe a little slow here. Titan also never gets banned. Yeah. They have 2 cards in their hand here. Interesting, just bring out the. If they have you know Bounce Land Titan, they can Titan here. But we're gonna Burning Inquiry and take Fate into our own hands a bit. Gonna start off with a Street Wraith. Counter on the Mako. Arena of Glory. Stay in the hand. Stay. Let's go. So I could get very greedy, and I could cast this second Inquiry before... Also, if this had been discarded, it's just game over. I could cast a second Inquiry before casting the Hollow one and try to get the Vengevine back this turn. I probably shouldn't do this. I really want to, so you know, it's okay if you leave me. I understand. Yeah. Okay, this one left me, and I got another one. We'll take it, I guess. And maybe our opponent's going to take 8. Titan is the reason multiple cards were on the ban list. So Summer Bloom. Does it feel like the builds have gotten grindier but less powerful somehow? It feels like the Titan decks have gotten less grindy and less powerful. I don't know if I'm sold on this like graveyard loop stuff anymore. Like I just feel like the Titan decks just lose to themselves way more often than they used to at Field. Cloud Post? Well, I would think that Cloud Post would have just had to be banned no matter what. Yeah, Field of Dead is a pick, but Field was also like I think probably even like just like with Uro, it was still really gross. Bloom, Field, Cloud Post, Green Sun. Well, Green Sun's currently unbanned. But yeah, I think Cloud Post and Field of Dead would be banned without Titan for whatever. Okay, my opponent doesn't seem to have a lot going on, so that's good news. I did discard Primeval Titan and Lotus Field, so also good news. How much damage can I do? I have 12, 15. I think I have 19 damage. Assuming I can bestow both Phoenixes, which I can. So I think instead of dealing 19, we'll hold up the Ray of Revelation for like a Dryad. Field didn't see any non-Titan play without Uro and probably wouldn't have been very good in fair decks without it. I don't know. So like this is kind of a little bit of a logical fallacy. It didn't see any non-Titan play without Uro. It's because of course you would just fucking play Uro in like all of these decks. You know what I mean? Like I think Field probably still would have been pretty good if Titan was banned. I don't know that that's the case, but I think I would have still played it or tried to play it. Okay, so 0-1 into 4-1. 4-1ing with Ketramos, 4-1ing with Mako. How did the Frog Catcher deck go? It went pretty well. I think I am not going to do another league today. My throat's a little scratchy, so I don't think I want to fuck with it. I think we'll be back tomorrow. There's a good chance we play updated Esper